in their custody now. The question now is this: if you want to go to the bank, there is a lot of monitoring that is going to go on. EFCC will be there, ICPC will be there, NFIU will be there, MBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics will be there. Though it requires a lot of mammoth effort. Then also the question of integrity of naira. You can see my people in Igbo when they are doing party. You can see how naira flow and people press, stamp on the money. If you look at it carefully, though it's a cultural thing, but you see now that it has a lot of impact on impacting the integrity and also beginning to talk about the face value of the money. Not only the Indigbos too that are involved, my people too in Yoruba. In fact, they are own. Indigbos will flare our own. My own is bundle. They give bundle to people. And you now begin to look at it carefully. If you look at these reasons, we might be tempted to say it is true. And also, if you look at it carefully, there are a lot of hoarding of naira. Hardly can you get a new naira note now. And people makes a lot of big business in it. You can imagine how much money the new naira note that they exchange for. You can imagine if you want to exchange, some charge as much as 2,000 for a 10,000 naira exchange. I go to parties a lot, so I know all these things. And so basically, even the lower denominations are even more expensive than the higher denominations.
Oh, really?
Yes, they are more expensive. And secondly, you find out that we have more of dirty notes now because the new notes are extremely very expensive. So you see, and also if you look at it now, you see, because of technology, because of our youth now, Yahoo Plus, you understand, a lot of them have an increasing digital experience concerning how they can do this counterfeiting. Our youth, a lot of them has a lot of idea concerning hacking. If they could have a network that they can hack a system, they can ensure that they collect so much money from people. We now begin to see now that if you look at those nefarious activity, you'll see. And also, when we're now talking about financial inclusion, you see quite a lot of other organizations like small, medium scale and enterprises that are involved. Come to think of it, let's look at it. Look at National Union Road Transport Worker. How much billions they get on daily basis. You will see it is worrisome. Such cash transaction is worrisome. That's why you can see people donating millions because what level of accountability we're going to have. So in that case now, if you look at it carefully, CBN taking that measure will be able to redirect quite a lot of that fund. But we're now looking at almost 85% outside it. Would they be able to do it? My answer is capital no. Because of the precarious situation we have in Nigeria. Honestly, if you look at it now, the only denomination that will be impacted are the 200, 500, 1,000. These are these are denominations that is spent in high level. When people go to party, that's what they use. How did you see people spending 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, and 100 naira? Because they believe it's not the view of the current inflation. Inflation we have in Nigeria now is 20.77. So if you look at it carefully, that is on paper. If you go to the market, I can assure you, the inflation has got on to over 45%. That is, if you have 100 naira today, what you will be able to buy in the market cannot be up to 55 naira. That shows clearly. Go to price of yam. The yam they sell at 300 and something. Is that 1,002? Go to cup of gari. Go to rice is even more golden now. Rice, a bag of rice is going for 41, 42 naira. So you can see how we go. And then two, the other flip side of it is importation. The question why I say is here, we have a serious problem in Nigeria. It is true, we will go into printing. We're going to import all this in with a high use of forex. Look at the debt level we have now. We have over 53 trillion as debt. In fact, in the next 40 years, we shall be paying yearly of over 1.8 trillion to service the debt we have. Come to think of it, if you look at the hunger, if you look at the new index of about 121 countries that is suffering from acute hunger, where their citizens are angry. Nigeria occupy 102. Let us now ask this question. We have injected over 2.3 trillion as social investment structure. We've injected billions of naira into agriculture anchor borrowers bond. Let's ask the people in authority, what is the impact of this money they've injected? If by now we are occupying 102 out of 121 countries in the world that is hungry. Those are the real issue to me. I appreciate the fact that yes, we're talking of it. We have to state this carefully. We have a lot of money in the hand of politicians that they want to spend now. You can see clearly. We have a lot of money in the ransom. They paid us ransom. We have a lot of money even outside the Nigerian coast. Nigerian currency is heavily in West African country, and they have to come back. We now need to ask ourselves question: why do people keep money at home? 85% of the cash are outside the bank. One is purely speculative. You know, my brother Ndibo, I salute them. Whenever they want to buy something, they send us an increase in price of this. They want to make times 5 on one day profit. They keep on it. There is catch in our catch. It's not only limited to them. Look at Gbagi market. Look at so many markets in Ibadan. Those people, especially people who are into iron rod, people who are to even go to Okeari. People keep every money. And also, you know, in this people, you find out that people want to, in case of any force majeure emergency that happen, people want to have a ready-made cash. Those are the issues that we have to. And also, we should not forget this fact. People use naira in exchange of this crude oil, especially the crude oil that we are talking about. The theft, that is almost 80%, almost more than 35 million barrel per day lost. How do people sell this thing? It's through exchange of that. In as much as I can continue analyzing the impact and what it will have done. We should be very careful. Careful in the sense that Nigeria is a highly volatile area now. Nigeria is a toxic environment. Nigeria transparency is almost 121 out of 141. Security is almost impossible. Don't let us deceive ourselves. Even without new note in circulation, you can see people when they go to robber, how they kill the men. Now you are going to inject money where the nonsense actor has displayed capacity. Unknown government, the terrorists, the banditry, they've displayed capacity. I'm now wondering if we, at this point in time, still negotiate with them. Release my own, I'll release our own. We don't have that capacity to actually curb them. Now money is going to be in circulation. Heavy. What happened? Those are the issues we're going to see. Secondly, we will be using heavy more forex to import this thing. I don't want to ask the CBN, ask every successful administration, what is Nigerian Minting and Printing doing? What is the essence of creating that bogus environment? Nigerian Minting and Printing. If by now we cannot, because we don't have capacity, because in fact ballot paper, they fake ballot paper. Go to Oluwole market now. It's highly developed. There's nothing you can't get. If you want them to design your hair, redesign your hair, it's there. That's why certificate is as good as nothing here in Nigeria. So in as much as I support them. We have a heavy burden on our heart. Heavy issue on our hand. We know this cash is like you are going to lion's den. Because many people holding cash will not be able to go and deposit it.
True.
If they can't deposit it, oh, you want them to be poor? They will go after the new one. The question I ask, how prepared are we?
And it's only in the bank that you can exchange the money. the new currency.
Then there will be a lot of problem in the bank. A heavy. Before now, there's a heavy attack on bank. Now it's going to be the double because they know, interestingly, the money in their hand, they cannot take it to the bank. Because they won't be able to account for it. So their target now is they want to get new, almost equal to what they have in their hand. How do we balance it?
So are we saying that this is not the right time for the change?
There's no time that is right in Nigeria because we have always gotten it wrong right from 1960 today. Any good thing is good. But Nigeria, the question I now say is this. Interestingly, there's nothing we can do. This is the only country that people who want to benefit from a policy will not do people's referendum. They've given December 15, which means they budget for it.
Is it, let me ask, is it possible that this is an opportunity to actually catch anyone who has embezzled money, a certain amount of money, and kept it away from the bank? Is it possible that this could be an opportunity to actually catch them?
How do you catch them? It's not an opportunity.
Oh,
It's just a framework designed to checkmate them. It's only when they come they will catch them.
But they're going to change the money. How would they do that?
Let's be frank. There are a lot of open opportunities they can use. Let's be frank. If you have so much money and you cannot go to the bank to do it, then you devise opportunity. But however, it's an opportunity to checkmate them. But in Nigeria, yes, they will checkmate them. Why are you so careful? Is checkmate is how many have they caught and punished? In as much as it's Nigeria that is going to manage anything, there's a Nigerian factor that goes into anything we're doing. First, the insincerity of those who are going to manage it. Because most of all those things will be outsourced. And for everything they do for Nigerian, there's always a consultant, third-party transaction. Even including the money that we get, the money that, the stolen fund that has gone. When it's coming into this country, it never comes straight. It comes through the consultant. And people charge a lot of money into their personal pocket. So the question now is this. If the money we are receiving, people are unscrupulous people, unpatriotic Nigerians in high and mighty places because of greed and their egocentric mode, still choose the hand to make so much money. How much now? When these same people, remember, these same cabal of people are the one that will go after. They're the one that sensitizes with what they change. Anytime they call a change, they have changed it. They have so modified a lot of things, changing into their own pocket. Who is sincere when it comes to implementing any policy in Nigeria? If we have been transparent, the question we will say is this. They have done such in US before. They have done such in India before. And I can tell you, because of the new king, they're going to do another one. We don't know how fast. The question is this. Even though we know it will increase the value of dollarization, because people will now be buying dollars. Because dollar is quite stable. So what I'm saying is to catch them is what I'm saying. They will route it through Bureau de Change and go and buy dollars.
Wow.
And interestingly, how do you catch them? The man is doing business. You don't have because if the man is doing business, the Bureau de Change is the only one that is interfacing with the government. This man that has money at home is coming straight to it, and they can negotiate and get dollar. That's what I'm saying. It's almost impossible to catch anybody. Because the people who did this system, one way or the other, there will be a kind of leak on the other force. I've just told you how they can do now. Which means plenty of naira will change dollar. Because when people know that they cannot go to the bank, because they will ask them where they will go, where will they go? They'll go for dollar.
Let's take some messages. Nero Chale says, good morning. This is a good move by CBN, and I think it will affect those that stashed cash for 2023 elections. However, I feel something is driving this quick move that we don't know yet. And Press Talk, okay, so this is on the terror alert. Okay, so we're going to come to that in just a bit. Nigerian government under Buhari has been known for currency change, but what I'm begging them is to use this opportunity to remove or rewrite whatever the Arabic language written on the naira in English or our local languages for common understanding. How many language do you want to have on the Naira note? Do you think it's possible?
There's nothing that is not possible. But the question is this: have you or has there been any patriotism? People want to use to promote themselves, and you know the North has display capacity. They will still put it there. There's nothing you can do. Even if you go to our constitution, anything Islamic religion was mentioned over 21 times. Do you have anything with Christian religion? So it is heavy denomination override of Islamic issues in Nigeria because many of them are in power. So you will still see the effect. The Arabic will be there even much more, and their own people will be much more there.
All right, let me just take this notification. Customers of banks are enjoined to begin paying into their bank accounts the existing currency to enable them to withdraw the new banknotes once circulation begins in mid-December 2022. All banks are therefore expected to keep open the currency processing center from Monday to Saturday so as to accommodate all cash that will be returned by their customers. For the purpose of this transaction, this is an interesting part. It says, from existing to new notes, bank charges for cash deposits are hereby suspended with immediate effect. Therefore, DMBs are to note that no bank customer shall bear any charges for cash return paid into their account. Members of the public are to please note that the present notes remain legal tender and should not be rejected as a means of exchange for purchase of goods and services. Of all these things they've said, what me I'm interested in is the charges.
Let me tell you, you are deceiving yourself.
CBN has said it, no charges should be taken.
Hold on, Jenny, hold on. Remember, you are not in UK, you are in Nigeria. By the time you come to the bank and they frustrate you,
oh God,
you will part with something. Let's say you came to the bank and they say, because there must be a closing time. There must be a closing time. With me, there will be a lot of heavy queues.
Yes.
Let's come to think of it. You have like one, remember, there's a limit of money you can carry around. Because as you're carrying around, people are over you, are watching you. Let's say you took the risk to carry billions of naira to the bank. And you're going to be on queue. And it's almost time to close. Will you not be ready to part with something?
Mr. Kennedy, do you think the time frame given by CBS to get this exchange of new cash done and of course to move old money to bank, do you think it's too short?
I've said it. Nothing is too early, nothing is too short. But the insincerity of our people is my problem. We don't know how well prepared are they. Because if they had informed us, maybe a year ago, maybe they put process in place to sensitize people over a year ago, the cash in transit will have reduced and the pressure will have done.
Don't you think they can still do it now?
It's too late to cry. It's too late to cry. They've staked that. They have a stake December 15. And they have only 6 weeks by January 2023. So which means they frame what they want to do. You know Nigeria. Shylock, unpatriotic citizens. They've already calculated what they will do. Come to think of it. You say AFCC will be there. ICPC will be there. NFI. Coupled with this security we have. Immigration, because money we have over 121 way through which Nigeria can go. Nigeria, you understand? Where we monitor is 83. The unmonitored zone that we have, through which people can come to Nigeria, is over 121. So tell me, how will custom be able to monitor? The question now is this: if they are able to get less than 45%, let's clap for them. Because Nigeria knows how to make law, they also know how to break the law. Remember, they can say, okay, no bank charges. I've told you, no cash deposit charges, no problem. You know, banks are now hijack. Remember, the people who are there will be given preference, especially to the customer they know first. Is that not so? Customer who have rubbed their hand with money. You know, ego means a lot. Come to think of it now. You have been used to a place. You came now, people know you what you have done. Definitely you will be giving preference to new people that are coming. Is that not so? Because a lot of people who have a lot of heavy cash, what if their bank is so far? They will be forced to come and open an account in your bank that is closer, and they want to move the cash because take for instance now, I'm in a life bado and I have heavy cash there. You understand? Maybe I moved to a lot of people when they do their trading is not where they live. Some people are living out in their own, especially people who handle this crude theft. They live at a senior part of the country. That's what they do. So the question still remains the same. I appreciate what they want to do. They say they will monitor. The insincerity of our people is there.
Mr. Kenny, let me take this message from Adebonga. It says borrowing to print money is a nosedive approach at this juncture. Buhari has exhausted all his old tactics and ideas that he put into actions as a military head of state. This will be the last one before he leaves office. Closures of border, grazing routes, ban on importations, etc. are old ideas of his as a military head of state. All his ideas he has brought back as a military head of state with no achievements. The same excuse he gave when he changed the naira back then is what he's giving now. Excuses to curb corruption and to checkmate kidnapping and banditry. Is Buhari saying he can't fight corruption without changing the color of the naira? This is just a repeat of what he did in 1983/94 as a military head of state that never ended corruption. He also said Nigerians should know that the federal government will be borrowing to print this money. A nose-dive approach at this juncture. Okay, still the same message, just sending it all over again, talking about the cash money. He's also, this is a diversion, we're talking about the terror alert now. Let's just look at it a little bit. It says here the terror alert raised by the US for me is mainly for their citizens. This isn't the first time such alert is raised, and Nigerian government pay lip service to it, and it happens. Borrowing to print money is a nosedive approach at a junction. Still linking it to the issue of talking about the terror alert here. He says here that DSS arrested suspected terrorists. Right, that's less than 24 hours after the US and the UK warned that they might be attacked. It also says that these people are evacuating their citizens from Nigeria. Also, they gave warning to South Africa as well. And as Adeboye said, Nigeria is paying lip services to all this warning, thinking it is nothing until it becomes something that we can no longer control. Do you have something to say about that?
Interestingly, let's be frank, it is true that if you look at what PMB's administration, almost all his actions were met with stiff resistance and also skewed. I can tell you, this administration has suffered severely from unpatriotic Nigerians who have made up their mind before the start of aviation to also screw this up. So with me, why is it that every effort he brought is always turned out? So definitely, I wouldn't want us to be blaming Buhari. Buhari is not the only person in this government. He's just the head of the government. How about the advisors? How about the ministers? So, in as much as I want us to talk about what has not been good in this administration, we also talk about the people, the key players. Because if the key players knows what to do, knows something better to do, the situation would not have been like this. And come to think of it, borrowing money. I said we're going to borrow money. The question still remains. If we look at what we're going to gain compared with the borrowed money, first, there's no transparency. If they are sincere enough, let them tell us how much are they borrowing as a stake to change the naira note. You will never know. What is their projection of their gain from it? You will never know. So the question still remains the same. In as much as there's no transparency across board, we are all taking risk, and not taking risk is even riskier. The question is, it means that we're strengthening the debt that we have. As I've told you now, if the debt is to 40 years, we're going to pay. It will now go to 60 years because we don't even know the figure that we're talking about. In as much as I want to appreciate what they're doing, I'm saying they plunge us into so much because there's no discipline, there's no the impunity in the system at all level is huge. Is it not Nigeria that will manage it? Is it not Nigeria that is when they repatriate money, when they bring money, can Sweetie the scam concerning how much percentage they get? Now we want to print. We are going to do. There will be consultancy. There will be this. There will be that. All of them will claim, and plus the money we are going to do, because we have to add the aggregate together before we begin to see what gains are we making here. If we net it all, is it a positive gain or a negative gain? I will tell you, it's a negative gain.
Well, Mr. Kenny, you know I'll always be on the other side of the table. I'm a very I like to give Nigeria and Nigerian government the benefit of that. Hopefully, we're gonna have answers to all those questions, and there's gonna be clarity. We'll know what's happening, where the money is going to, what we're gaining from it, and all of that. Hopefully.
You can't have any clarity because there's no transparency. In the transparency index of about 141 countries, Nigeria occupy 121 of countries that is not transparent. Where are you going to get that transparency for?
Mr. Kenny,
how?
You very
How
much.
are we getting?
Press Talk is done for today, Lagos. Let's do this tomorrow.